Hey, yeah, what's up? This is Disciple Marcello Kearns. This video is called God's Perspective on the Death of Children. God's Perspective on the Death of Children. And I covered in the first video the perspective of, you know, what this video is really is trying to say. I'm not trying to come off like this is some crazy shoot 'em up, forsake the children type of video. That's not what this is. This is about proper, wholesome perspective of children in this video. That's what it is, and I'm trying to get people to understand this perspective and hopefully take it as their own, because it's just it's buck wild when it comes to how people just let their children run wild and do whatever they want to do. They use children to make people bow down to them, like people with sport cars on the road. They think that you're supposed to bow down to them when their children come around. They act the same way. Just like people with sport cars, they drive around like they own the road. People with kids go throughout the whole world, from store to store, place to place, acting like they own the world because they done brought kids in this world. I have a kid. My kid is 14 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something I'm foreign to. Yeah, you need to know that too. It's that I seen my son born. I was there in the hospital. So this is not something I'm just oblivious to how people feel about their children. I seen my son born and everything. My son know who I am and all that. We're in two different states right now and everything, and it's a very complicated situation, but my son said he loves me and he's gonna come find me. That's where that's at. You know what I'm saying? So you're not I'm glad I put this part in the video because it's important. I'm glad I said this in the video because it's important for you to know I'm not some man child that never had children or some nerd kid that never had children. That's not the case. But it still does not mean children run the world. Okay? It doesn't mean because you have them, you can walk around like just walking around defecating on people. And when you do that, when you sit up and you watch and you accuse people of having some type of lust for your children, like you're waiting for them to lust after your children. I mean, I gotta address this, man, because it's in the culture. It's time to attack this dumb, demonic energy and mentality that's in the culture. People walking around like you lusting after their children. Like, man, are you serious? Have you lost your mind? Nobody is thinking about your children. But they are paranoid because they watch all that Law and Order crap. They watch all this Law and Order CSI stuff, and they go out into the world looking at stereotypes as the enemy. Or stereotyping people as the enemy is the better to say. And it's like, they're the ones with the problem. Because I'm a realist. That's how I feel. If your children are not hurt in real time, if no one is coming close and interacting with your children, then you have no choice as a good human, a good humane person in humanity. You have no choice but to continue about your day and keep it moving. You don't sit back like you some gangsters of the community and some gangsters of the world trying to see who's doing what and what's being done. Because like I said, all I see on TV is these kids ending up on there. All I see on my phone is countless kids being shot, countless kids being killed. That's all I see. So where are the witch hunters and where are these people that claim to protect the children? Where they at when that happens? That's what I'm saying. Where they at? Where do you hear them at? Nah, I know they out there. You know, and there are people that play games, and there are people that do accuse people too. Okay? But right now I'm addressing the people that go around calling people pedophiles, calling people saying people like children in a sexual way. They act like they got a purse in their hand when they go outside clutching their children. Like you clutching your children like a purse. Like, oh, look at that thief. He's gonna do something to he's gonna take my pocketbook. That's how they act with their children. Oh, let me clutch little Johnny. Let me clutch little Johnny. Look at that guy over there. That black guy looks like he's a threat to Johnny. You know what I'm saying? They look at all this TV, getting all these images in their head, and going out and radiating that energy out in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, I'm gonna keep it 100. Every man is not a family man. And it's all right to not be a family man. If you're not hurting anybody, it's okay to not be family oriented. That's what we gotta let people know. You don't have to, okay, this is the thing. Long as you're not hurting children, you don't have to embrace anybody. That's your prerogative. If you want to be left alone for whatever reason, as long as you're not harming children, then that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. I can't make you interact with children. I can't make you love children. I can't make you feel a certain way about children that I feel because I have a child. I can't make you feel that way. That's ridiculous. That's a crazy mentality. As long as you're not harming children, then I can't have no smoke with you. That's real. I don't care what I think is on your mind. I can see you look at a child's butt. I can see you look dead at a child's butt. What can I do about that? What, I can't go out in the world punching and stabbing and kicking people that I see looking at children indecently. Every once in a while, I do see people kind of seem like they kind of do. I do. And I'm thinking like, did I just see that? I think everybody see that. But what can I do? You think the police is going to say, well, yeah, right on. The police is not going to say right on. Because it's your interpretation of what happened versus their interpretation. They could have said it caught their eye. That child reminds them of their child. And you thinking it's something else while they're looking. But you clearly saw them look at their butt. You clearly saw that. But what can you do about it? You can't do nothing about that. You can't go harassing people that do stuff like that. And that's what the mentality is. These people are harassing people on things that you can't really do nothing about. You can't do nothing about what's on somebody's mind. You can't do nothing about that. And you're not the person, and I don't care if you got the baddest telepathic psychic ability. You're not the person to sit up and judge what's on somebody's mind concerning children. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know um what happened to them. You don't know why they looking at the children the way they do. That child like I said might remind them of a child that they lost. They might be looking for that reason, just stuck, thinking that child looks so much like Johnny. And you're thinking, oh, look at this pedophile just gawking at the child. People are so simple-minded. You see what I'm saying? You see how it's so easy to misinterpret people? Then you can have people that are truly pure, that when they come around children, they're very respectful, very sensitive, watching what they do and don't do. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing strange about that. I'd rather that than people have no regards of what they do and don't do around children. Then you got some people that's very respectful. That's not suspect to me. That is not suspect to me. What has been proven to be suspect is these people that go out in public wanting to interact with all the children. Them the ones you gotta worry about. It's not the guy that does not embrace children that you have to worry about. It's the guy that does embrace children. That's the men and the women you gotta worry about. Not just men, women too. Those are the people you gotta worry about. It's people that's constantly embracing children in our community. The teachers, you gotta worry about teachers now. You gotta worry about these soccer moms. You gotta worry about, in 2021, everyone who embraces children. Because the history has been these people that's on TV that so-called love children, them be the ones caught up in the pedophilia scandals. Because at the end of the day, a man that does not embrace children is no threat. The woman that does not embrace children is not a pedophilia threat. The ones you need to worry about is the ones that's wanting to go to the park and hang out with children. I want to make it clear, I have no desire to hang out with children. Each to his own. I'm just speaking for me and for the grown men in the world that are real men that have no desire to embrace and walk around and play with children. It's not suspect. I'm not hiding behind anything. As a grown man, I have no interest of children. I don't share any interest that children have. And that doesn't make me a bad person. That makes me a grown man. That's what we got to get back to. Men being men. Grown women being grown women. There's nothing wrong with that. Because back in the day, children wasn't even allowed to be in the company of adults. You couldn't be around no adults staring in the face of adults in where I come from, in the South. If you in the kitchen or you around where the adults at, they tell you, get out of here, get out of here. Get out of here. You just staring in our face, you just staring in their face, get out of here. That's what adults did back in the day. That's the cloth I came from. They ain't just let you just sit around adults and just be watching everything they do, looking in their face like kids be doing these days. They don't let you do that. You had your place. Your place wasn't among the adults, sitting there drunk and high, or whatever the scenario might be. You know, and see, that's how stuff gets started. These children in the company of adults. That's the first problem. That's literally the first problem. It's children in the company of adults. Because when they're not in the company of adults, guess what? When some kind of adult some weird adult comes along, try to befriend them, they gonna act like that's the strangest thing that ever happened in their life. But when they used to adults all around them, I'm not talking about when y'all all in the living room and hanging out. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when families in America, I'm just keeping it real. I'm not talking about Christians, but when families in America is smoking weed and playing spades and drinking 40s. Okay? And or whatever. Having shots, grilling out and getting the kids and y'all drinking and drinking fifths of vodka, drinking Hennessy and all kind of scotch and everything, smoking big cigars and everything and having kids around. That's what I'm saying. This is how it gets started. This is the cultivation for why they are so befriending of adults. You don't want your children like that. You don't want your children befriending of adults. You see what I'm saying? See, I know how to raise children. Unlike a lot of these people that's walking around here acting like you're the enemy. Because all that intermingling with adults is ridiculous. That shouldn't even be going on. That's real. That's how it all gets started. That's how all the stuff, all the heartache of human beings get started. Kids hanging out with old people, with pain, all kind of things they do. You don't need kids around them anyway. Talking about all kind of crazy stuff anyway. You don't need their world mixed with the world of children. The world of children should be bright, colorful, separate from adults. Because our world is not bright and colorful and all that. But it's time for men and to be men and women to be women and be unapologetic about it. If you're not a family person and you do not prefer children around you, and even if children aggravate you, that is still okay. That doesn't make you no monster. It's okay to feel that way because you're an adult that have preferences for adult energy. It's okay to only like adult energy. You do not have, it is not a requirement to want to be among child energy. Now people will say, well, Jesus embraced the children, but we talking about a whole different time. You talking about a whole different time where there wasn't even a media per se. There wasn't even nothing, all this crazy stuff going on. There was none of that. All these scandals with pedophilia scandals and crazy paranoid people thinking you're doing stuff you're not doing. It was none of that. It was not people that were skeptical of children interacting with men and women. These days, you can't have children all in your embracing children. People would think, that's the first thing they're gonna think. Oh, that person just seemed too friendly with children. And you just trying to be a nice person. You can't do it. You can't do that anymore. That time is gone. Because either you're gonna have people skeptical of who you are for no reason, just because you've been a nice person. You're gonna have that. Or you're gonna have people feeling like, okay, skeptical or I forgot what else. They just gonna be basically just not believe that you're sincere, that you're a sincere person. They're gonna feel like it's some other reason why you want to interact with children. If you do it, that's just basically what it's gonna be. So you can't sit back and be like, well, I know my motives are pure. I know that's how Michael Jackson got caught up. Michael Jackson got caught up because he was like, well, I know that just imagine he thinking, well, I can have children in my bed because I know that I'm not doing anything. But the rest of the world, you got to think for other people. You got to think according to how they think. And so you can't be like Jesus when embracing all children like that. You can't be like that. Oh, people would take advantage of you interacting with children like they did Michael Jackson. So if you interact with children and they're gonna be skeptical of that or take advantage of it. That's people that there's evil people like that. Take advantage of it and make up all kind of lies and scandals and say you was doing stuff you wasn't even doing. That's what'll happen. So what do? You embrace your own children, first of all. That's the first thing you do. Raise your own children. Love your own children. Won't you start doing that first? Won't you start there? Because there's so many children that go out throughout the world, they don't even look like they love. You look at them, they don't even look like they loved. Start off loving your children instead of trying to have somebody else love them. Because what I see is half of these children don't even look loved by their own parents. And you want me to love them. It don't even look like you love them yet. Why don't you start off loving them with all your heart and making the best child out of your family, making the best children out of your family? Won't you start there first? Because that has not been perfected in America. The family unit has not been perfected in America. So won't you dig yourself into and put your energy into raising your own children? Won't you start there? Because America has not perfected that. So while you worried about everybody else and what they doing and all that and putting all your energy into all kind of craziness and paranoia every time you go out, got your children like a clutched purse, won't you focus on raising them, showing them how to treat people? You know what I'm saying? Stop using them as bait to see if a person is a pedophile. That's disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself to use your children as a means to try to see if somebody's a pedophile. I don't care that much. You're not gonna see me using my son. If I ever get the chance, however things work out in my life, to see him, to use him as a means of seeing if somebody else is a pet, that's ridiculous. And it's a certain crazy mental sickness with that somebody gets off on this superiority, like I said, like owning the world, trying to see like if you who you are and trying to make you bow down to them like they better than you. For the record, let me say this too. Family people, you are not better than single people. Okay? You are not better than bachelors. You're not better than single women, divorced women, or divorced men. Just because you have a family does not make you a better person. It just makes you responsible for another person. That's what it do. That's what the basics is. It does not make you a better person in our society because you got a gang of children. Let's keep it 100. That don't make you a better person. I don't care if you're raising them good or not. You are not better than me because you got some children. But that's how people behave and act in this country. Like you better than other people because you got some kids. So, I don't care if you got some kids. That don't make you better than me. You are not better than me because you got a gang of children. That's real, man. And that's how. But people force you to. They force you to have to say this because they act like I said. They act like people with sport cars riding up down the street like they own the street. It's the same thing. They take their families out in public, let them run wild like savages in the grocery stores, in the toy stores. They let them run around like savages, burning down the stores like a village. Yeah, I used to work at a thrift store. I know. People let their children come into the stores and run the stores crazy. You gotta pick up all that stuff because they go in the world acting entitled. Like they entitled to us for special treatment because they got children. It's ridiculous. Alright, I gotta come back to another part.